Well, good afternoon, and we've got some friends here today from, welcome to Camelot Castle. And this afternoon we've got some friends here. Now I'm going to allow you to introduce yourselves. This is
Simon,
Sally, Mark. And literally we've just met and they just arrived. But we've also got somebody else here in the broadcast who is a bit shy, sitting down there. Is he going to say hello? Oh my gosh, he's got his laser gun. Come and say hello, darling.
Is that one of those temperatures?
Come and say hello. Come and say hello. Yes, I think he's got a temperature gun there. But anyway, you just stopped me in the tea room, and why don't you just tell your story and how it is you came to be here?
So it was probably well over a year ago now, was it? Around about March last year, wasn't it? I'm not sure if it was before or after lockdown, but around that time. So, you know, when all this sort of COVID stuff started unravelling, you know, and these measures started coming, talk about lockdowns and all that, I started looking into this because I felt that things didn't quite add up. You know, for the kind of infection death rate and the response that we were getting, and the talk about lockdowns. So started doing research and looking, you know, YouTube videos and anything people sent, and sort of getting myself on all sorts of different communication lines and forums. And then it was actually a friend of mine that said, "Oh, you should check out Camelot Castle. They're actually broadcasting now," and sent a link. I'm going to dob him in, actually, Mark Swallow. For this. I'm sure probably some of your viewers know him.
Good.
So yeah, started watching it, and yeah, it kind of, you know,
it helped us.
Yeah.
Did it?
Definitely.
How did it help you?
Just watching it, just listening to people's stories and just watching it. Yeah, we didn't want to watch any other television program. We just tuned in.
For a while, it was like every time, yes, there's a Camelot's
we just tuned in.
Yeah. Well, that's really what we were trying to do, was to just let people know that there is another side to the story. Because I think anybody with any intelligence could see that we were being spoon-fed a narrative. Yeah. And a lot of that narrative just did not make sense. And of course, a lot of us, we saw these scary videos coming out of China. People dropping dead in the streets. Yeah. Has anybody seen that over here?
Yeah, I think I saw it about a year ago.
No, you saw somebody. You saw.
Actually saw it in person.
You haven't seen anybody dropping dead in the street.
No, I haven't seen that.
No. You saw the videos that came out of China.
Yes.
But we haven't seen that over here. Yes, darling. Oh, we have somebody from space online today. Now, what would you like to say, somebody from space? Oh, well, there you go. What a peculiar alien you are today. Which planet have you come from? Oh.
Which language is that?
What language is that? Well, the problem is with this language is that it's so complicated and it's come from such a far way away in space that I'm not sure we fully understand this language, do we yet? But anyway, you're very welcome. All aliens are welcome at Camelot. We like aliens here, and they're absolutely welcome here. So welcome, Mr. Alien, today. Oh, this alien actually lives here. Right here, this alien lives here. Well, this is fantastic. Now we are just going to hear these other. I think they're from Earth, these people, but we want to hear what they've got to say, because some of the people on Earth, I don't know if you agree, are very, very interesting, and we want to hear their story. So we were listening to this young lady here, and she was saying how watching the broadcast actually was very helpful to you.
It was, yeah, because I work in care.
Oh, do you?
So I was working in I'm an activity coordinator, so I was working in a care home.
Bye. Bye, little alien. Lovely to have you.
Yeah, so the job became really important because they weren't allowed to see their families. We were on complete lockdown. They only had the staff.
Oh, you were one of the people working in the care homes, because
Yeah.
my aunt, who I think is about 93 now, is in care home. And we went to see her the other day. She's in Richmond. We could only talk through the window.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine, because older people, you know, just, I don't know if this is the same for other people, but I find that when my body gets older, it doesn't mean to say that I feel personally as a spirit any older. In fact, I'm just as mischievous as I ever was at Caspian's age. And, you know, you can't move the body around as freely, but the mind, in a way, can actually get freer as you get older. Because, of course, you've had more experience with which to think with life. And I think it's so important that and this is, I think, the crime, out of all the crimes of COVID, whether it be the experimental medical protocols, whether it be all the various different things that those of us that now know what's happened are annoyed about, to me, the biggest crime is how we've treated our elderly.
Definitely. I mean, all we had was an iPad for communication for families. And I think for me the worst part was holding an iPad so that the family could watch somebody pass away.
You did that, did you?
Yeah. That was probably the worst thing I've done.
That is brutal.
Yeah.
That is brutal, and it's wrong.
Yeah.
And it should be up to the family if they want to take that risk upon themselves.
Absolutely.
You know, and it is a completely unacceptable
form of... We had residents pass away through being broken-hearted.
Of course they were.
COVID.
Yeah, and they, you know, life needs communication. And so I suppose that was the first thing that we tried to do. I mean, listen, we're the most useless broadcasters in the world. I'm just more or less, as you can see, making it up as one goes along. Oh, little alien, what are you up to? Are you not going with Mama? Okay. Well, okay, Caspian, you come back here and help with the broadcast. Oh, he's got his little laser gun. There you go. Look at that. Oh my gosh, now he's going in the... Look, it's affecting the whole... This is alien technology affecting the whole camera. Look at it, what it's doing. Oh dear. What an amazing thing. So we're listening to this very important story about this lady. Will you go and help Mama with what she's doing? Okay. You go and help Mama and let her know. So, yes, so we were talking there about, I mean, that must be a dreadful, dreadful thing. And of course, the spirit does need its...
They needed their family.
They needed their families.
And they couldn't see their family.
Nothing more important. And that's why, in a way, I mean, listen, we're fully aware that, you know, to put our family on screen and so on and so forth, it's normally one wouldn't do that. But we just felt that, in a way, by us sharing and being open and being willing and being accessible here to people, it would perhaps fill a little vacuum that was in people's lives. And I think we reached, through this channel, about 100 million people over lockdown.
Well, it certainly helped me.
Wow.
And I had people coming in here literally saying, you know, but for this channel we would have committed suicide.
Gosh.
And 4 people actually came in here, and in tears they sat there on that sofa there and they told me, thank God, because people were seriously worried. I think now people are beginning to see through the bullshit a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think they are seeing through it. And I think every person that we speak to, you know, and what I would ask you to do, somebody said to me today, you know, I was posting on a local village group here called the Tintagel Voice. Do join that group on Facebook if you want to. Very, very interesting group. And, you know, most of the people in that group are completely pro-vaccine and completely, you know, and I put up this article that came out the other day, which is very, very powerful. By the way, please subscribe to our Telegram channel, because I can't put up stuff on Facebook anymore that I used to put up. So if you subscribe to Camelot Castle TV Chat and Camelot Castle TV Network, Camelot Castle TV Network Chat and Camelot Castle TV Network, we can put up all the data. But, you know, this woman said to me today on the Tintagel group, she said, well, why would you, you know, you should choose your audience about who you're saying this to. And I said, well, what's the point of preaching to the choir? like in this room here, we all know really what's going on.
We do.
We know we've been tricked. We know that the
totally.
medical suggestions that have been made are crazy. But it's the people out there that have been thoroughly and utterly indoctrinated.
Yeah.
And you know what? If the four of us could help educate one person a week, that would make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Huge, huge difference. So, number one, I want to thank you for coming on and sharing your voice. What's your story, sir?
Well, I was obviously quite concerned when we had the first lockdown. Quite frightened. I have diabetes, so I have a sort of health condition that obviously puts me in a vulnerable category, not the worst one. But,
No, I understand.
It really did sort of frighten me. I didn't want to leave the house. So it was only talking to the likes of Simon and Sally here and gradually picking up information about what was going on that my eyes started to open. And obviously at the time that we were being told that the only way out of this would be through some form of vaccine or medication. And it wasn't until much later on that I had concerns about it because of the way that it was being introduced, and the fact that it was just the way the government were going about things. I have to hold my hand up and say I'm not a Boris Johnson fan. I don't agree with some of the things that he's saying, and it winds me up when people do say that he's done all right, he's led the country. That's their opinion, that's fine, I can live with that. I'm not pro-vaccine, I'm not anti-vaccine, but my own individual opinion is I'm not willing to risk an experimental vaccine with what it could perhaps do to me. It's I just feel it's like me playing Russian roulette with myself, and I'm not willing to take that risk. If the technology develops, if things move on and things improve differently, then I'll quite happily hold my hand up and say, right, yes, okay. But at this moment in time, I've heard too much. I've heard too many things that have come from yourself, through Sally, through family and friends, that I'm just incredibly suspicious about what's going on.
Well, I think the research is there, and what we try and do is avoid what I would call the hardcore, really out there conspiracy theories. And I think that's important because a lot of the people that have been pushing some of this more outlandish stuff, at the beginning we listened to it all, but you have to take a look and then you have to compare it with what you see in life.
Yeah.
And one of the most interesting things to do is when you meet somebody, you say, well, did you have this medical protocol? And what did it do to you, Yeah. And the numbers of people who will tell you this and that is really quite interesting. And then you say, well, do you know of anybody who had any form of reaction or whatever? Yeah. And then the numbers will start to, you can actually prove this point to yourself quite easily just by asking the people around you directly. So what we try and do is get accurate information to people. The whole point of Camelot Castle, it is a hub, it is a resource, it is something that we can do. What would you say to people who are out there still perhaps as worried as you were?
What about the medical protocol?
No, I wouldn't. I don't want to get into that because the problem is if we start getting over into the medical stuff, then I'm just going to get banned because we have to realise that this information is being thoroughly censored.
Right.
So for those of you that want the uncensored version, go and follow us on Telegram. But for the purpose of this, what would you say people could do aside from your views on any medical protocols? What would you say they could do?
Probably say just do some research.
Yeah,
look a bit beyond what you've been informed of. I tried to sum it up in one way of if you've got two armies, what's one of the best tactics you can use to fight the opposition? Cause confusion in the ranks. So we've got a whole load of confusion out there through social media, what's being portrayed on the news, what we're being informed, what we're being advised to do. And I think that in itself is causing a lot of confusion amongst people, and now we've reached a point where you don't feel like you know who to turn to or what to actually look at, what is the reality behind everything.
To believe.
Yeah.
There's a very good interview out there by Eric Clapton. I don't know if any of you saw that.
I saw that, yeah.
Do see if you can find the Eric Clapton interview. That's very powerful.
Yeah, I could relate to that because he said he feels like a stranger and he can't talk to any of his family because his children, I guess you could say being brainwashed.
Well, I have a question for you. Have you felt comfortable at Camelot Castle? Have you felt anybody is making you wrong here for your views in any way?
No.
Absolutely fantastic.
No, we were desperate to get here. We tried to get here in November of last year, but it was when they locked down again.
Right.
Yeah.
So we've been waiting
Good.
to come here.
Good.
Yeah.
And you're staying with us here, are you?
Yeah, 2 nights. Yeah.
Oh, how lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely.
In
Well,
fact,
I'm glad
we
we got
booked
it.
in with you for this evening.
Oh,
You
good.
probably don't know yet.
Good. You're staying. That's good. I thought you were just passing by for tea, but that's great.
A couple of
Well,
nights.
that's well done. Well, you're here
Yeah.
for a couple of nights, and you'll meet Ted, and you get a chance to see the studios and everything. And well, it's just lovely to welcome basically our viewers from the channel to Camelot Castle. How fantastic!
Yeah.
And
Lovely to be here.
hopefully you can decompress here a bit
Yeah.
and tap into the Arthurian energy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you can
Definitely.
go and see Merlin's cave. You can
Yeah.
see the
Yes.
island, which is lovely.
We'll do that.
And the village of Tintagel, of course, is the friendliest village. And I'll tell you the one thing about the village of Tintagel: zero gossip whatsoever. Nobody has a bad word to say about anybody else in the local village. It's one of the friendliest villages in the world. So make the most of that. And what else?
It was lovely to see the castle as we were driving along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see
And
in
the
the
sun
distance.
came
It's
out.
amazing as you
Yeah.
drive over the top of the hill and
Yes.
you see the castle
See the
against the
castle.
sea. And it's very hard to get that on camera, though. I've not been able to. It's one of the few things that you can't actually film. Maybe you'd need a really long zoom or something.
Yeah.
But when you come over and the sun is on the sea in the evening, it's just stunning, isn't it?
It's lovely.
It was great.
I was quite excited when I saw it.
You sort of almost have this feeling or knowingness that, and I have it. I've been here for 20 years. You have this feeling you're just stepping into a portal, and you never know where it's going to lead, and it's always going to be some sort of an adventure here, and your creativity is allowed to sort of unleash, and you can have, you're free to think whatever you want to think, and you're free to experience whatever you want to experience. And I think that's really where Merlin was a genius in creating the Round Table, because what Camelot isn't is one more hotel for the super wealthy. We never wanted to create that. This is an everyman experience. This is I describe it as sort of Downton Abbey for every man. Really, we can't book in and stay at Downton Abbey, but you can come and stay here.
Yeah, I feel quite privileged being here.
So do I.
Well, I do too.
Oh,
I do too.
Yeah.
And I always say to people, you can't actually own a place like this. All we're really doing is acting as guardians of the space.
Yeah.
And we're trying to look after it. And okay, we've done up this room and we've done up a few of the other rooms. But it's just a bit of wallpaper really at the end of the day and a few curtains. These things are transient things.
Yeah.
But this space, this location, we're holding this space here. We're saying, listen, somewhere out there is the truth. We're great believers that the truth is out there. And each of us in our own way, we're all going on the road to truth, aren't we?
We are.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we love here is we welcome all religions, we welcome all different thought people, religious, non-religious, black, white, coloured, straight, gay, any one of the 57 genders, everybody's welcome.
Heinz 57.
Yeah. I mean, we really love it all. And the only thing is the common denominator, I think, of the people who enjoy Camelot and enjoy Tintagel is they're trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
They're good people that are sincere in trying to do the right thing. They may not be the most dynamic people in the world. Some of them are. We get some very dynamic people coming through. You'd be amazed who comes through these doors. But on the whole, our average guest is very down to earth. They just want to see, they like being happy. That's not a crime. And they like to see other people be happy.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
you know, I just, madam, because I may not get the opportunity to say this, I can't imagine what it has been like for you to do the care work that you've been doing.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we saw is that some of the care workers in England are now going to be compelled
Yes.
to engage in a medical protocol. And we actually put out something the other day where we said if anybody doesn't want to do that, then basically we're taking applications to employ people that...
I don't know where that will go for me yet. I'm hoping I can hang on, but...
Well, I think it is against the law. It's against European law. It's against human rights law, and I think it's up to everybody to deal with that as they see fit. I think it's their power of choice. It's not an easy situation. I get the arguments on both sides, but I just wanted to take the time to thank you personally on behalf of all of those families that you were with, and you obviously, you know, it's a great and incredible thing. Sort of, well, it's an incredible thing. You know, midwives I think are very interesting because they're welcoming spirits in, and I think people that do palliative care are also very interesting because they're sort of. I think you have the angels welcoming us, and you have the angels that are helping us depart. You know, and it's a very, very spiritual thing. If you've ever had the chance, well, obviously you that's your life.
Yes.
So, on behalf of all of those families that perhaps haven't had the opportunity to say thank you to you, thank you so much for that care and helping.
Yeah, 'cause it was
those,
tough.
yeah,
And
no.
this channel helped. I used to come home really upset, but this helped.
Well, that's what we were trying to do, really.
It's getting the message
We
of
just
hope,
thought,
isn't it?
yeah,
That-
a little bit of hope goes a long, long way. And if all each of us were to do is you know, have a list of our 100 odd friends and go through 20 of those a week and just make the point of putting a call into them and saying, because it's not the same as a call is much better than an email or a text,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
and you just put a call into them and you go, listen, I hope you're doing okay. You know, I hope you're feeling all right. And then just listen and give that person a chance to say, actually, well, you know, to be honest with you, things aren't all right. And I think that's the thing also, it's very important for us to be honest with each other. We can all be, you know, we've had a hard time here. And I'm one of the most positive people.
Yeah.
You know, I wake up, you know, very rarely, you know, pre all of this, very rarely had a bad day. But I've had one or two quite tough days.
Yeah, and we have as well, haven't we? When it's got really tough.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I come home to Simon and he sets me straight, and then we'd sit down together
as much as I can.
watch the channel, and then I'm ready for the next day.
Because at the
Well,
moment,
that's so
you're
good to
taking
know.
things one day at a time, aren't you?
I am.
You think you're right with your job. You think your manager's gonna
Be okay.
you know, stand by you
Yeah.
and
Well, I'm sure. I think there's a lot more in the local care home in Tintagel. From the conversation I had with the girls that work in there, they'll have to close that down if they push down on this thing, because they're definitely not engaging. So
Definitely not.
you know, and I think a lot of the real, you know, people forget the silent do-gooders in life, and you know, the sort of politicians think that the world is filled with show-offs, but actually the people that keep things going tend to be really quite quiet. They tend to get on and do their work anyway, and they just keep going, and that is the backbone of the country, really. And you start messing with that backbone, then you'll see the sparks fly, because their absence alone would cause entire industries to collapse.
I couldn't imagine doing anything else. I've done it for 30 years.
Well,
I couldn't imagine doing. I don't know what I would do. You know, if I couldn't do that.
work for Camelot.
well,
I couldn't do that.
we can hire a few people, but we can't hire everybody. So you know, at the end of the day, we want to give as many people here an opportunity as we can, and we are hiring and we are expanding. But you know, thanks for coming on. Thanks for sharing your story.
No problem.
So nice
Thank
to have you here.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I will say goodbye, ladies and gentlemen. That's who arrived at Camelot today. Very nice, lovely people who have been following what we've been up to.
Go on, Tanya. Show your face.
Well, we've got another lady who wants to say hello.
Come on.
In the background.
There we go.
Don't
You
be
come round
left
here.
out.
Come round here. There you go.
Hi.
Do you want to tell a story?
What's your
No, I don't want to tell my story.
well
My cousin Tanya,
cousin?
Hi.
Very good. Tanya, welcome.
a fellow rebel
Thank you.
and freedom fighter.
Good,
Definitely.
Yeah.
good,
Freedom.
good.
And
Well,
I've got a lovely room at the top of the castle, by the way.
So have we.
oh, good,
Yeah.
good,
Would
good.
you like to
Lovely view.
advertise your artwork as well?
Yeah. Oh no, I'm not going to say anything about my artwork.
Well, you can.
No.
Oh, she's got
Well,
some
where
lovely
can people see your
artwork.
artwork?
I'm just starting out, so
Well, where can they see it?
I haven't got a website yet,
Okay,
but coming soon, hopefully.
coming soon.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
We'll watch
I'd like
this
to talk
space.
to Ted as well.
Come to
so.
the alpaca
Good,
lodge in
Yeah.
Hayden
good. Well,
Island.
Ted
Oh, we
will-
have alpacas, yeah, on Hayden Island. Come and see them if you like.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. Well, we will say goodbye, and we look forward to welcoming you all to Camelot very, very soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.